Tyrannus Cosplay here once again, and this is another one of those build live streams where, let me turn that down a bit, where I'll be working on the Nordic carved armor. Last night I started adding the detail to the pauldrons, and tonight what I'm going to do is mute that, just like that. Tonight what I'm going to do is add the battle damage on here so that it fits in with the rest of the costume, and hopefully get in and do some of the sealing on the seams between the joins of the frame. But I don't want to be on for too long tonight. I've got some other commitments that I need to get down to, so probably only about an hour, maybe 2 hours for this one. So if you watched me do the battle damage on the chest, you'll know that I had a couple of things in mind while applying the battle damage, where I anticipated blows to come from, considering that it will be a shield-bearing person of holding shield in the left hand and striking with the right hand. I thought that this side of the costume would be protected by the shield more than this side, with the exception, of course, of that claw mark coming over the top. So that concept's got to follow through to the damage on the pauldrons as well. So this is the left pauldron, which is obviously going to go on the left of the armour, and I'm just going to pin it up there temporarily so I can get an idea. So let's pop that there, make it sit correctly. Now, they're obviously sitting flatter than they would while I'm wearing it, because my shoulders would protrude and hold that up a little bit, and there's a considerable amount of padding with the gabardine and the leather. No, go on. There's a leather plate that goes underneath these as well that protects the outside surface of your forearm, your bicep. But that won't distract us from getting an idea of where and how much damage I want to add to these so that it fits and works consistently with the rest of the armour. As you can see, my dummy's a little wobbly, but that's all right. Mike, thank you very much for the host, brother. Appreciate it, man. Red Ice, thanks for joining us for the feed tonight. Hopefully it won't be a marathon like the last couple of nights have been. The mission tonight, when I stop throwing my chalk on the floor, is to add the battle damage to the pauldrons and maybe get to the sealing phase on them, but I'm not real fussed if I don't make a lot of progress on that tonight. As I mentioned before you guys joined me, I do have some previous engagements that I need to get down to this evening. Thunder, how are you, bro? Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Right, so the first stage, got the old chalk and just mark in where I'm anticipating putting battle damage on the pauldrons. And then I've got the Dremel there, a couple of things I want to do. I want to even up the faces with the sanding disc on those, and with the sanding drum, but with the stone bit, I'm going to round all the sharp edges just like I did on the chest piece to make them softer and give it a little bit more of a feel. No, it's thunder. It says so in bright red, right? Well, actually, it says so in bright blue, right? And there. I kind of figured it might be, because you're the only one that would actually call me by my name when you jump into the chat, because none of these guys know me in real life. Well, very few do, and even less will admit to it. Righto. So, as I said, the left-hand side of the armour should be protected by the shield, so very little damage here, although the pauldrons, of course, are going to be up out of the way from the shield protecting. The right-hand side is going to cop a few more blows, maybe a decent sword hack on them, but I don't want to go too over the top. I want to keep it in in the same sort of feel as the rest of the armour pieces. So I'm going to put a decent sword hack across the brow of that one, and then just various nicks and stuff. And looking at the reference image, which one is it? Is it this one? No, it's this side. You can see there's a nice little nick in there, so I might carry that through to actually to my build. Okay. So bit of a nick there, that slash there, and making sure that I don't do the same mistake I made on the first one, where I only put battle damage in the flat areas and not onto the beading, and of course the battle damage is going to breach both of those. So okay, that's that for that one. But what I want to do with that pauldron is perhaps follow that sword mark that's in the chest piece. Oh, auto focus. Auto focus. Cheap nasty camera. Sorry gang. Okay, so yeah, like I said, I want to carry that sword stroke up into the pauldron, so it's going to go in line like that. Then we're going to do a hefty one across the shoulder blade, boom, and one in the back, because it's Skyrim, and if you haven't been hit in the back yet, you're not playing the game right. Okay. So I'll rip those off of those. I've got the Dremel all set up already with the sanding disc on it. It's not too loud on the camera, we've discovered from previous. So that's the pauldron there, and now you can see that I've got some chalk lines on there where I'm going to do significant damage, and then I'll just do the same sort of technique as before, put the slight little hacks in there, changing the bits on the Dremel to give me different intensities of damage. I need this. Okay, so is that thing going to focus or what? There we go. Focus, finally. I don't want the keyboard covered in dust. Alright. Well, not particularly loud noise. Dremel noises incoming, guys and girls. Those of you that may be gender neutral, you're included in that as well. Right. Zip zip, haven't touched anything yet, crying out loud. Now, I discovered from previous exercises that doing a nice, smooth, consistent dig with the Dremel gives you a more realistic impact than getting the Dremel and doing these tiny little brush stroke things. Yeah, that just looks all real jagged and doesn't carry the story properly. You like those, do you, Daryl? No, I don't think you've actually seen the armor decently. That's the chest piece there. So it's come up, but you know, pretty snazzy. It's acceptable. And of course, that's the lid that goes with the whole thing. Righto, let's crank this Dremel back up again and get back into this. You can't see what I'm doing. Okay, so now that I've g'day Seek, thanks for joining us, brother. I'm just yelling over the top of the Dremel. Okay, there we go. I'm just tacking in the battle damage that I mentioned last night, mate. So bear with us. I'll get the Dremel noises out of the way and do both of them as quick as I can. No, it must be on the other one that I needed to do that. Okay, cool. So you don't want to go too over the top. I want to, like I said, try and keep it consistent with the damage that I got on the other piece. TK, thanks for joining us, brother. Appreciate your support. Good to see you up on the feed there. It's a much more acceptable time to be doing this for the WA and local watchers than my normal 3 AM stream. So go around, put the battle damage on. Aussie! Geez, everybody's turning out tonight. Thank you very much. So, looking quite strong for an audience. Okay. So that's one. And we'll get stuck in with the second one. And my Dremel just fell on the ground. No worries. I had to pick up your housemate from a party. Bit early to be getting picked up from a party. What is he? Teapot Screamer? Still running on an hour's sleep. Jeez Louise. Okay. Yep, that'll work. That one works fine. Now that is the right hand Pauldron, because the orange goes out to the front, so that's that slash that needs to match, sorry, that's the slash that needs to match up with the one that's going on the armour. Yeah, I did see that on your Facebook comment, mate. I'm not sure whether I got back to you on it or not. Look. Okay. Obviously that goes the other way. So I'm going to swap that the sanding bit out for the stone bit and soften all of the very sharp edges all the way around on all the outer surfaces. And maybe soften up the lines in the eyes a bit so that this fits in. But yeah, that's going to really work in well with the damage that is already on the chest piece. It'll give me a line of continuity across the two pieces of armour, so they don't look like they were damaged at separate times. Well, somebody was mentioning a quick release for the Dremel a couple of chats ago. Latex loves the EVA foam, as in the EVA foam is very absorbent when it comes to your latex coating, or it just won't let go of it. It's very clingy. You need to be a little more consistent with your details. What you means? Okay. Oops. Put the key back in the little set there. Okay, more Dremel noises, guys. You're spamming your Facebook with videos. Okay. Well, obviously I can't see them at the moment. It'll give me some viewing to do once I finish tonight's stream. Yeah, there goes the phone updating me that people are updating my Facebook. Thanks for that, brother. Yeah, you were mentioning that last time we spoke, that you were talking about that, Daryl. I'm glad to see that's worked out for you, that they've going to give that some prominent display time in their shop. Really, you'll stop? Thank you very much. I think we might focus. Thank you. Now, Steve, we'll see you as soon as you join us again, mate. Acrylic paint does not like the latex. You can mix the acrylic paint into the latex and make it a tinted latex paint, from my understanding, from watching Bill and Brittany. Now, if you watch me do this step on the chest piece, you know that I'm not really aiming to get a nice, perfectly consistent round edge all the way around, because I figure these are the edges that are going to get battle damaged over time, chipped, and not even swords and stuff, but the armour just getting knocked around from day-to-day wear and being taken off and dropped on the floor after a hard day of riding through Tamriel. It's just a little crest where I joined the two bits of foam together, so we'll use the stone bit to round them down a bit as well. Stone bit's nowhere near as aggressive as the sanding disc is, so it's perfect for just doing this soft rounding on the edges and get rid of some of the cut marks without chewing away too much of the meat of the foam. Don't get the quick release clutch. Oh, okay. One of the guys was saying that they love theirs, but I mean, I shall avoid it then, based on your call there, Thunder. And I suppose if the clutch jams, then the whole quick release analogy goes right out the bloody window, doesn't it? How much of a quick release can it really be if it doesn't release the bits? So, how's your big build coming along there, Thunder? You still hacking away at it, or you taking a moment's R&R on it? That's going to be a massive bloody job when it's finished. The chucks are not interchangeable. Oh. Well, that's a bit of a bummer. Just can't seem to get the fit right in my hand. There we go. That feels much more natural. So I don't seem to be getting too many dropped frames there, 0.2%, so hopefully your feed is not laggy, because obviously while I'm streaming I'm not actually watching my Twitch feed, I'm watching the OBS feed. So I'm not sure what the actual result that's going out to the channel is like at the moment. And somebody's bound to say something if it's all sucking. Feed is good. Beautiful. That's music to my ears. So like most of this, I was investigating the whole subscriber type thing to see whether it was worth pursuing as another income stream to help support my addiction to the fumes given off by contact adhesive. It does look like it's quite a bit of a haul. You need like 300 followers per video on average kind of thing. And as you can see, I have 3 at the moment, so that's just a little below par. I actually started off, we were trying to convince Evil Ted that he should go partnership on his Twitch feed so that we could subscribe and support him fiscally while he's building, instead of just using the donation through PayPal that he's got set up. We got the chest ready for the running lights. Oh, sweet. For your season specific running lights, really is just a very small detail, softening these edges with the stone bit. But I mean, obviously you can't see it very well from there, but from here it's making a world of difference to the overall softness of the look. Just thinking, yes, the ones we were mentioning, but you were using, you were sourcing very season specific materials to make those from, based on our last conversation. I was just thinking, most of the time I'm very conscious about how much of the dust I'm going to end up breathing in while I'm sanding EVA foam. Tonight I'm very conscious of the fact that my cup of tea is just there and I don't want all the dust going in it. Yep, that's what I was going for, but I didn't want to steal your thunder by saying it myself. Good thing about the stone bit is, one, it's soft, and as I said, it doesn't dig in quite as badly as the sanding disc, but also the tip is not damaging the surface of the foam while I'm actually sanding a different area, whereas the sanding disc would be just chewing into that now, tearing it up. Okay, let's soften out the eye a bit by making those really sharp steps that you can see there softer. I don't want them to disappear, obviously, while I'm doing when I do the coatings on it. But again, I don't want them to look harsh. I want them to look very organically cast, basically. Just like that. Okay, that's that whole side done, and as you can see, it does look a little softer. Let it focus. Yeah. So we got some battle damage chunks taken out of it, some decent sword strokes, and the softer edges. So I'll just work my way around the whole thing. Although this top lip that I'm doing here is actually up on the shoulder close to the neck and will be covered up by the fur that wraps around the collar. But you bet, if you don't do it, that's the one thing that's going to pop out of the costume and make people stare and go, there's just something not consistent there. Okay, it's the inner edge that we need to do now. So Thunder, have you considered streaming your stuff? Because your stuff would get a lot of interest, I reckon, mate. I know consistency is the key. Absolutely, it's got to look like it's one uniform build. And Aussie, that build that you're working on, those images that you showed me earlier on today on Facebook, oh, damn, that's going to be awesome. That's going to need to be affixed down, that tip's come loose. I definitely reckon it's going to do that. I don't know whether you guys saw it on the Facebook post, but we had the dates of Oz Comic Con released in an email, well, yesterday or the day before, so I put them up. So we had literally 6 months before Oz Comic Con. Which I kind of like. It gives me plenty of time to work on this without putting pressure on myself that I have to knock bits out and skimp on the level that I want this to do, this done at. The only problem is it may be so far away that I get so lax that I don't put myself under pressure to get it done in time. And then there's some commissions that are starting to come to fruition as well. Forgot to soften up the other eye. The longsword with the latex is going to be great. Just got to swing into Buns tomorrow, grab the core, yeah. Oh, that'll be a good turnaround time, mate, having that ready for paint by Sunday, considering you only picked the foam up today. And again, I'm really sorry I missed that run up to Belmont with you today. That still irritates me that had to happen the way it did today. Okay, I'm going to call that just realised, Thunder, you did see my armour in real life. You're one of the few people who did, because I was wearing it at Racon. So yes, you know exactly what it looks like so far. The other times to annoy me. All right, so there we go. That's the first of the Pauldrons rounded and stuff. So the steps that will follow will be to hit that with the heat gun next. It will seal the pores and seal where the battle damage is. It will open up some of the seams slightly, and then that will tell me exactly how much filler or filling I have to do. Once that's done and it dries off, the whole thing will get coated with the spray-on rubber coating that I use from Rust-Oleum. Once that cures, it's primer to paint, paint to weathering. And the good thing about this set, or the nice thing about this set, is that it's a one colour paint job before the weathering. The weathering gives it all the deets. I'm not sure if you can see, but side by side how one does look slightly softer. I can definitely see it. I don't know whether the piddly little camera is picking it up so you guys can tell. But yeah, that's the softer one. That's the raw one that hasn't been touched yet. Other way around. The camera's reversed on me and I'm just going, hang on a second, that's not the one that I'm showing them. Yes, that's the raw, sharper edged one, and that is the smoother one. So we'll put this one aside, we'll crank up the Drem, and we'll get stuck into this one. All you can see is awesomeness. Are you looking in the bloody mirror again? I warned you about that. You'll get lost in the image that reflects back to you, Harry. Okay, dentist chat, here we go. Whoops. Bloody thing. If I was doing a nice smooth build like an Iron Man, that would bother me every time the Dremel catches and flicks around the edge. But in this case, it's usable. I'm so glad I'm not doing this with sandpaper. This would irritate the living daylights out of me. Ah, got it. Bit of loose foam right in the inside of the angle that I couldn't get to. Go on now. What with the Dremel flicking around, I think we... What? It's got a life of its own. Oh, with sandpaper, yeah. I don't know how those guys go doing the rondo bondo. That would drive me absolutely freaking insane. Hours and hours of sanding. As you'll notice, I've got my little catchphrase. It's called cosplay because it's meant to be fun. I don't see fun in days and days of sanding, respray and sand again. It's like, oh my god. Some people, I reckon they find it very therapeutic. Yeah, would probably prefer scotch for therapy myself. So as most of you know, I'm normally rather more talkative during the build, but I'm watching the meters when I'm trying to project over the top of the sound of the Dremel, and I'm maxing out, so I'm purposely not being as talkative as I normally am while I'm building. But I don't want to ignore you guys, so yeah. The ends justifies the means? Yeah. I suppose that's why we put so much detail into our builds. The sleepless nights and that, to get to the ends, the reward, whether that's the personal reward of having a costume that you're 100% satisfied with, or the reward of having the adulation of young people and fellow members of the fandom. Give off their little daggy bits of foam. Across the top of the eyebrow. And some flat work there to make that consistent. I could see a bit of a gap there. So and try and get it to meld smoothly like we did on the top of the helmet, which has the same kind of eyebrow thing going on. just realised I haven't done the whole feeding of the face thing today. Wonder if I got a Domino's voucher sitting up there somewhere. There's a nice stimulating 45 minutes so far of nothing but Dremel sounds. We call this soundtrack Ambience of Workshop. I could, I suppose, mute my microphone, but that would be totally silent streaming then. And I'd have to start throwing in some Charlie Chaplin moments just to keep you entertained. Okay, we're almost all the way around. Just got to finish that back up to the peak. Oh, much better. Although the coat seems to be quite filthy now. That's okay. I did my own laundry. Which means the problem belongs to me. Brrr. Oh, the brrr from the Dremel is therapeutic, was it? Yeah, like the dentist chair therapeutic. Okay, so we got a little chip in here. We got a nice decent gash down across the top. Some minor chips around the place just to make it look good on this one. I'll be hitting that with the heat gun now, and that will seal that off and open up the seams. And that, of course, is the one on the other side, the right-hand side. Yep, big old R written on the inside of it. And that's defined or reinforced by that one bit of battle damage down there, which follows on with a piece of battle damage that's already on the chest piece. So there we go. We'll swap out tools from the extension from the PowerPoint and throw the heat gun on there now. And oh yes, we will try not to set off the smoke detector this time, because that was a little irritating. And somehow not as entertaining as one would think. Okay, so unplug the Dremel. Alright. And plug that puppy in there. Now because I got 2mm foam on this one, I'm not going to run the heat gun on full blast. I'm going to run on half because I don't want to run the risk of curling any of this lighter foam. Ah, there we go. It's kicking in now that it's got up to a temperature that it can work with. It doesn't need much, just needs enough to seal it, and you can actually see the foam change colour when you run the heat gun across as it's sealing the pores. And it tends to give this floor sheeting a satiny kind of finish when it pulls all the seams together. Don't forget to get the edges. One. Also tends to get rid of all the little feathering that the Dremel can put on the 2mm foam. Now I won't be streaming tomorrow. I have to go entertain at a function, and then when I get back I'm supporting a friend of mine who's making their comeback creative stream tomorrow after quite a few months on the sidelines with a bit of a lack of confidence. So tomorrow we're going to support her return. And I think they're misshapen. One has got a very rounded shape, one's a bit flatter. That's okay, the chest piece itself is rather wide at the shoulders, and we'll pull that back out to place. So as I was saying, occasionally you can, the heat gun will show up some detail that needs to be addressed. Well, that's not a problem. We just hit that with some Selleys No More Gaps and a damp finger and use that to smooth it in. That's my technique. A lot of guys use Quick Seal and a couple of other methods. Okay, see, now the heat gun has curled that up there, so I need to put a bit more contact adhesive underneath there to put that back down. And on that tip there. So that one looks fine. Just checking all the obviously loose places. And some on that tip there. So just really small. Yeah, you can run your finger along while the foam still has some heat left in it and use that to smooth it down too. Very good. Let's unplug that puppy and put it off out of the way to cool down. Under the tripod's a good spot for it, can't kick it there. Okay, so just a few little dabs of the contact adhesive because I can't find my super glue. That's a perfect job for super glue, just these little bits that need to be done. And the EVA foam doesn't mind working with super glue at all. Me, however, don't got none. Thought I had some, it's all dried out. So it was just that one little bit on this one and the two other bits on this one. Right in underneath there. And for want of a better term, the overspray, the overspill, on the contact adhesive on this is again not something that's going to be detrimental to my finish at all. In fact, it's going to enhance it. I'll leave that string to dry off and it'll just roll straight off of there. Where's the other bit that was lifting? Yes, that. The notorious little pointy tab bits. And there's one of those dreaded cut marks in the foam where I reshaped this lip here after I'd glued it down, and now I've run the heat gun on there. Come on, focus, you bugger. Focus. Probably can't see it, but along that lip there, you can just see that the blade ran too deep. And now that I've hit it with the heat gun, it's opening up. So we'll have to put the sealant right into there. Okay, what do we got? We've got 1002. We'll leave that for a couple of minutes and stick those 3 little dibs back down again. A huge spiderweb just sprung out across from the glue. Well, I think that's going to be a nice short one tonight. Like I said, last 2 nights have been 3-hour long streams, and ain't nobody got time for that. It also plays merry hell with uploading to the YouTube channel, and I've got a commitment at 10:30 that I absolutely can't be late for, so I won't be doing too much more of the stream tonight. We're going to call it a really short one and only run for an hour tonight, I think, guys. So there we have it. That's really simply applying the battle damage, using the Dremel, and smoothing out all the really raised areas and all the sharp edges to give me a much smoother, more natural feel to my build. I'm trying to keep it in the shot, but every time I camera angle over there, that's the way. So there we go. That's the pauldrons for the Nordic carved armour chest set at the moment. Well, actually not the chest set, like an entire piece. Okay, friends, I'll see you at the next one. Remember, you've been watching Tyrannus Cosplay, and it's called Cosplay because it's meant to be fun. Okay, now, how do we turn this thing off again?